I call to order the meeting of the City Council of Chattanooga, Tennessee for Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Before we get started, we have an announcement from our Fire Chief, Phil Howard.
Due to Fire Marshal's orders, anybody that is not sitting in a seat will need to go out to the lobby. We also have an overflow conference room to the right, but we do not have standing room due to the Fire Marshal's order. So anybody that is standing, if you can't find a seat, please go out to the lobby or to the next room over in the conference room.
Hey, and if you are city staff and you do not have an active role in responding to questions related to the budget, could you also please leave? And I think it'll be streamed in the JB Collins conference room.
Rose is okay.
Rose is good to go. We got you. Fair enough.
Saying that we were cutting our team.
Oh, wow.
Our Pledge of Allegiance tonight will be led by Councilman Elliott, as well as the...
Somebody said.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So we understand that we have some strong weather that's going to be coming in, and so the City Council will not recess after our agenda meeting. We will go straight into our voting meeting. So Council, we will start off with our minute approval. Can I get a motion on the minutes? Thank you. Minutes will stand without objection. Okay, to get us started, let's take a look at this week's proposed agenda. We have items on final reading. Council, my intent is to take planning items A through E as a package unless there is any reason not to do so. Councilman Elliott.
Yes, Madam Chair, we need to amend item D. There was some misunderstanding in some of the slight language that prohibited some of the development on our property. So we need to go back and amend that, and it's probably going to have to come on the agenda one more week. I've talked to Phil about this already.
All right, so we will take that back into first reading. So you're going to be making an amendment to the current version that was amended last week.
Correct.
Okay. We will not put that in the package then. We'll separate that out, but we'll still do the other items as a package. Okay, Council, we do not have any items on first reading for next week because, as a reminder, we are not meeting next week. It is the 27th of May, and we will be taking a week off in observance of Memorial Day. Resolutions. We have an economic development item. We have two items under the mayor's office, which I intend to take as a package. I do not have any objection to that. Parks and Public Works. Under police, we have 3 items that I intend to take as a package without any changes from council. All right, we look good. Okay, let's pop over to the purchases that we're being asked to consider for this evening. We have 6 purchases this evening. We do not have any renewals. We do not have any RFP format recommendation requests or emergency purchases, but we do have 1 sole source purchase that they will be reporting this evening. Hit your light if you have any questions. Looks like we're good with that. Okay, so we don't have a 2-week agenda to review because, again, we will not be meeting on the 27th. Let's take a look, Council, if you will, please, at future considerations. This is for potential agenda items for June 10th, 2025 and beyond. Economic Development, Office of the City Attorney, Parks, and several Mayor's Office resolutions. Looks like we don't have any questions. Going once, going twice. All right then. We want to get everybody out in safe weather, and we have some important things to talk about tonight. With that, we will move into our special presentations, our public hearing on the FY26 operations and capital budgets. And Chairwoman of Budget will be leading this hearing. It's like old times.
It is, it is. Hello, everybody. So glad to see you all here. We will, I need to call this to order, open it up.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so this is our public hearing for FY26 Operations and Capital. I do open up that meeting.
Yes.
So we do have some rules. There will be 2 minutes per, if you plan to speak on this budget, please line up behind this podium now. And go ahead and line up now if you plan to speak now. And you have 2 minutes to speak, and we will, at this moment, limit it to. Oh, Lord. An hour?
Set an hour,
Okay.
less than allowed permission,
Okay,
if
you gonna
y'all
say
give
it?
permission. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, city attorney.
The time of the speaking will be allowed to go for 1 hour here at this point in time. It's a time, manner, and place restriction. And if there's other people that need to speak from outside, as soon as this body is available, the fire marshal will allow those individuals in.
All right, thank you so much. So with that, if you would give 2 minutes to Mr. McKissick as you get started.
All right, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to come speak to you today. And I am James McKissick with Artsville, and I brought some of our arts fans and supporters with me today. If they would stand up and say hi. I think there's some in the other room too. Our local artists and arts organizations have demonstrated the transformative power of the arts here in Chattanooga. And much of our city's prosperity can be attributed to their creativity and the support of those who have championed the arts throughout our history. Since 1990, Artsville has been designated as the city's local arts agency. This designation allows us to apply for NEA funding for Chattanooga and enables us to give operational and project support grants to arts organizations and artists. Artsville extends our heartfelt thanks to the City of Chattanooga government for your steadfast support of the arts. Your financial investments in Artsville and other arts organizations has had a significant impact on our income, our community, fostering creativity, diversity, and economic growth. And just as a reminder, the nonprofit arts sector in Chattanooga contributes nearly $200 million to our local economy and employs over 3,000 residents. So often the arts contributions go unnoticed, but we're here to share our presence and impact in the myriad ways we prioritize people. The city support is evident in pottery classes that happen after school, dance lessons at summer camp, a field trip to a play, seniors discovering painting, a teenager finding hope through art therapy, the necessary supplies that a teacher is able to bring to a classroom, a blind woodworker accessing adaptive tools, the students learning welding, the festivals you attended last weekend. Is that my time?
That's your time.
In other words, a lot of stuff, so.
Thank you so much, Mr. McKissick.
We just
I
want to
appreciate
say
it.
support the arts and continue to support Artsville. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. 2 minutes.
With the time, there we go.
There we go.
Hi, I'm Howard Wall, the Director of the Center for Regional Economic Research at UTC. And we were established in 2024, and we have received some funding from the city. The mission of the CRER is to be a resource to the Chattanooga community through data-focused research and expertise on the local economy. We achieve this through a variety of means, including a series of white papers examining issues such as trends in employment, wages, and income, which obviously is very important. Our website includes a data hub that presents and illustrates most government-provided data on the local economy, including labor markets, housing, demographics. And we've recently developed a business sentiment survey that will provide a forward-looking snapshot of the region and its economic prospects. Since September, we've been providing quarterly forecasts of job growth in Chattanooga using a statistical model developed by the CRER specifically for the local economy. So all of this is done as a public service to the community And I spend a good deal of my time talking to community members, both as a consumer and provider of information. We're a resource to local and national news media to help them understand and decipher the data and the national economy, which in trying and exciting times can be quite a task. Support of the CRER allows us to provide the types of analyses I described and to present them in public forums, such as our annual forecast release in the fall. It also allows us to provide opportunities for some of our best students to participate in center activities, do their own research, and hopefully remain in Chattanooga and contribute to its future success. I invite all of those present, council members, but everybody in the audience, to visit our website at utc.edu/CRER and to reach out to me to discuss the Chattanooga economy. You know, I love nothing better than talking about the economy, and I'm sure everyone else does too.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wall. We appreciate you.
Hello, thank you for having me here today. I'm Barry White with the Chattanooga Tourism Company, the organization charged with driving visitation and increasing revenue for our city through tourism. We're proud to say that your investment in tourism delivers positive returns. In 2024, 10.7 million people visited our city and spent more than $1.7 billion. It generated $179 million in local sales tax and state sales taxes, and per household, it saved the average citizen $1,200 because of the taxes paid by visitors. It's money in the bank for our government, for our residents, and for your districts. These results are no accident. They come directly from your investment and our focus on bringing more people to spend more money in Chattanooga. A great example is the World of Bluegrass. It's going to be here in September. We competed with over 30 cities across the country to host that event and bring it back to the state of Tennessee and to Chattanooga. Our job is to make sure that Chattanooga is always top of mind and always on the short list. 2 days ago, we hosted Ironman 70.3, the 10th year. We celebrated a 10-year anniversary. It's grown substantially over the decade and is always consistently ranked one of the top 5 Ironman events in the world. Thanks to your support, we've secured Auckland FC, so Auckland, New Zealand Football Club. Next month we'll be here in town, and that paves the way for us to host a national FIFA World Cup team here next year. This work doesn't just fill hotel rooms. It supports our community, businesses, and elevates Chattanooga on the world stage. Thank you again for your partnership and your support. We look forward to continuing to deliver real results for this city that we call home.
Thank you, Barry.
Come on up here, Jake. All right, since you cut us to 2, I got to start talking fast, but I've been blessed with that since I've been there. Almost 40 years ago, I started my job at the Chattanooga Zoo. We were a tiny little 1.5 acre zoo, and Friends of the Zoo was just forming. Over the last 39 plus years, that partnership has grown thanks to the support from our city government, the support of Friends of the Zoo. We have partnered to create what I think is one of the neatest zoos in the country. We're small but powerful. We also have an impact on our economic issues here. We employ 68 full-time people and 32. I did learn to do math a few years ago, 32 part-time. And it's a really amazing and diverse staff that we have. Over the years, we've improved just about as much territory as we have, but we have one thing that still needs a lot of attention, and that's our animal hospital. We're embarking on our new campaign to create a wonderful new place to take care of animals, to provide the very best treatment for them, and also to make the folks at AZA, our accrediting association, happy, because that's the one thing they keep telling us we need. Joined today by Donna, who's our Director of Development, and Jake, who's going to show off our friend who's just cute, and so that's why we're here.
Yes, absolutely. Rose does a wonderful job of showing one of the main missions of Chattanooga Zoo, which is connecting people with animals. I even heard a little gasp in the room when I lifted Rose up. You know, everyone can love her and connect her, and that's what we do, is we connect people with wildlife, make them care about local and global conservation efforts. We've been doing that on a bigger scale than ever this year. Attendance this this year so far is up 15% over last year at the zoo, which is wonderful to see. We attribute that largely to our new Cape of Africa expansion, the biggest expansion in Chattanooga Zoo history. So we appreciate everyone helping us along on our mission in doing that. We've had successful events this year as well. Our 21 Plus event just saw a 20% increase recently. So we love connecting with adults, children, lots of field trips this year, all kinds of wonderful things. And Rose comes to us, I'll tell you real quick, she's our Eastern Screech Owl, comes to us through our rehab program, which is why you can see one of her eyes and her ears there is a little abnormal, but we definitely appreciate all the support from everybody. And I'll answer questions about her at the end of it.
Thank you.
So I have to follow animals, huh? I'm Donna McConico, and I have books and babies, so I think I'm good. I want to say thank you. Because of you and your support, Signal Center serves over 10,000 city residents every year through a variety of services, whether it's receiving a monthly book through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library into their homes, or supporting our Family Forward program that works with teens at Howard and Brainerd who are pregnant. And we have an incredible graduation rate of 98% of the teens who are pregnant at those two schools and in our program are graduating on time. 27% are going on to post-secondary education. We also have a 98% prenatal care rate for all of the participants in that program. And it's such an important thing to give children a good start. One of the great things she started a few years back was providing scholarships for low-income city residents who have children with disabilities for summer camp. They can't go to other places. This allows their parents to work, get respite, but it also prevents learning loss during the summer. So we're delighted. Last summer, we served over 88 students in our summer camp for elementary, middle, and high school. And since merging with Speech and Hearing last July, we now offer hearing screens for infants and children and services for a variety of communication disorders because of the support that you give. You know, your support changes lives every single day. And on behalf of all of us at Signal Centers, I want to say thank you. I'm giving you 30 seconds back.
We're going to be adding owls to buses. Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Charles Frazier. I'm the CEO of CARTA. At the beginning of 2023, the mayor appointed and the city council approved an overhaul of the CARTA board of directors by replacing 9 of the seated 10 members, signaling support for a bold new vision for public transit in our community. Under the direction of Chair Johan de Nijssen, the new board set the vision for CARTA. They also recruited and gave me the opportunity to take on this tremendous responsibility as your CEO for this critical service of the city. I assumed my position last year and completed a comprehensive SWOT analysis, which I presented to City Council last summer, identifying the need to focus on fixing our foundation through the addition of key positions before we change or eliminate services. This year, CARTA's budget request is a carryover from last year. We need, number 1, key positions to address basic business functions, and number 2, local match funding so that we can compete for state and federal dollars that are otherwise going to other communities. As you wrestle with balancing the priorities of the budget, I pledge my commitment to you, the partnerships that I've created and established, and leading CARTA to be the best that we can be for all Chattanoogans. Finally, I ask that you reflect on our discussions over the last year in our meetings, on our transit tours, on our windshield tours of your district, to recall the following facts. Number 1, CARTA drives economic impact. Across all of our services, we are supporting more than 1,200 jobs, people going to work every single day. Number 2, there is a quantifiable return on investment when you choose CARTA. Every dollar invested by the city is generating a $7 return. Number 3, CARTA provides access to opportunity. Every time someone enters one of our facilities, gets on one of our vehicles, they're accessing opportunity to get to educational opportunities, medical appointments, school, church, and all of the things that make life important. Finally, even with minimal investment, ridership is up this year. Happy to give you those stats next time I see you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Scotty Bowman. I am the founder of the Launchpad. That's a sober living community for women recovering from alcohol and drug addiction. I'm here today to speak on behalf of my relationship actually with Charles Frazier and CARTA and what they've done for us as a community partner. Our focus is workforce development and affordable housing, as you know. So we are really interested in the transit system in the city in order to get our women back and forth to work. Since starting the relationship with CARTA on a pilot program, we've had over 30 women. We house 50. A few of them have cars, but we've had over 30 women to take 1,200 trips back and forth to work alone. And Carter was also kind enough to take my board on a tour so that we could see how the transit system worked firsthand. And quite frankly, we found it to be very lacking. Most of the bus stops don't have any coverage from rain. A trip from our homes, which are off of East Main, out to Hamilton Place area or Lee Highway takes over an hour and a half to get from one to the other. So it takes our women 3 hours back and forth to work when they have to use the transit system. So I do feel like funding CARTA is a good move. I think it does support jobs, as he was talking about, and it supports, frankly, our women getting back on their feet, and hopefully we can push them toward affordable housing in their next journey. For right now, it's hard enough to find the livable wage jobs. So CARTA has been a great community partner for us. Their immediate funding, I know they need it for their infrastructure, and then funding in the future in order to build that infrastructure so that it's more efficient and can get people back and forth to jobs when they're trying to become productive members of society. So, my hope is that we reunite the family and help our women get back and forth to affordable jobs and then affordable housing. So, thank you for letting me share.
Hi, I'm Katie Harbison, President and CEO of the Chambliss Center for Children, and I want to I know a lot of you are familiar with our agency, but want you all to know what your continued support of our agency means. We are offering early childhood education and childcare 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on a sliding fee scale, which makes it possible for families to be able to, one, afford high quality childcare, which is really out of reach for a lot of our low and moderate income families, but also to be able to take a job, excuse me, at any hour of the day and night so that they could work a second shift job or third shift job or go to school as well. We're serving hundreds of children every day on our main campus, but we also have 6 other childcare programs throughout the city who are all serving mainly low and moderate income neighborhoods, making sure that families have an affordable option for childcare. In addition to that, we also take children into our foster care program. We have a transitional living program for youth who age out of foster care and typically become homeless, incarcerated, or part of the gang population. So we're housing and supporting them, men and women. We are actually the only one in the state that takes women who also have babies, which is a real need for young women who age out of foster care. And then we also have the Isaiah 117 house on our campus for children who are removed from their homes on that day. Your support of our agency has been longstanding. I won't go into the details of it, and we are very appreciative of it. We could not do what we do without you. We also have a capital campaign where we are trying to refurbish a lot of our buildings, and it's very needed because our spaces communicate value to our children and to our staff, and safety. Safety is an issue in some of our buildings, and we really would appreciate your support of that as well. So thank you again. I would invite any of y'all out for a tour if you've never been. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David.
Good afternoon. I'm Betsy McCride. I'm with the Chattanooga Housing Authority, and I'm here to advocate for your support for the James A. Henry School, which is an integral part of the One West Side Plan. 5 years ago, this body accepted the One West Side Plan, which involves the revitalization of housing, the creation of new neighborhood amenities, and very importantly, the creation of the James A. Henry Hub. We were able to leverage over $21 million in support from organizations around the city to provide needed services to the residents of the West Side, both now and long into the future. The hub will be home to 117 Head Start seats. It will be home to a Boys and Girls Club, food bank, and a number of medical clinics offered by Erlanger, and a number of other services that will serve the residents of all ages in the property. We kicked off phase 1 on August 5th, 2024, with all of the money in the bank to finish the project. Unfortunately, in January till now, we learned that we've lost $7.9 million in funding, which creates a significant gap. We are about 53% through Phase 1, which includes the renovation of the existing school and the addition of a 4,500 square foot medical clinic. And so the funding offered by the city will allow us to continue the project, which should be completed by the end of December. So this is for the people of the West Side and the new residents who will live there as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Mackenzie Kelly. I am the Executive Director of the Chattanooga Regional Homeless Coalition. In 2022, the Homeless Coalition entered into a strategic partnership with the City of Chattanooga to drive a vision and strategy to reduce homelessness in our community. So I want to first thank you for your support of this partnership, as it's been instrumental in strengthening our local homeless response system, allowing us to take a data-driven approach to tackling a complex issue. One of the most transformative outcomes of this investment has been the development of a real-time registry, a tool that enables us to identify, track, and coordinate services for folks experiencing homelessness. This tool has enhanced service delivery, ensuring resources reach those most in need. Additionally, through your support, we have successfully administered the Housing Forward Fund, formerly known as the Flexible Housing Fund. We've fulfilled over 1,500 requests for funds for move-in assistance. In the past year alone, 378 households experiencing homelessness, 155 of which had children, gained stable housing thanks to the Housing Forward Fund. But the need is growing. The National Alliance to End Homelessness recently released a study examining potential consequences of federal funding cuts. In Hamilton County, over 13,000 residents currently rely on rental assistance through HUD. If these funds are reduced or eliminated, thousands will be at risk of displacement, leading to an overwhelming increase in homelessness. So we're already facing a high demand for continued support of the Housing Forward Fund and our local homeless response system. However, there's no alternative funding source to sustain this critical initiative. So without your support, we risk losing the proven tool that directly houses families in our community. Again, I thank you for investing in solutions that strengthen housing stability, and I urge you to maintain this partnership.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
Vince Butler here with the Coolidge National Medal of Honor Heritage Center, talking in support of the budget request for the Captain Larry Taylor Medal of Honor exhibit. And I'm going to let Miranda Wilkinson talk about the impact to the city.
Again, Education Director at the National Medal of Honor Heritage Center. At our center, we value education, and it's very clear. Everyone in this room values education. I always poll our students that walk into our center, how many of them actually like social studies or don't like social studies. In the don'ts, I get the majority of students because they don't see it as relevant. They don't see it as applicable. As a former social studies 7th grade public school teacher, I understand that. They're just names in a book. We try to bring these stories to life when we have students at our center. You know, when I talk to students, we talk about how some of the most successful people are able to look back into history, figure out how did those people make those decisions in those moments and in those contexts, and what threads can we pull and apply to our lives, our 5th grade lives, our 7th grade lives. This is so very important to students. And so then we narrow into Medal of Honor recipients. And we recognize every single student that comes to our center is not going to grow up, join the military, and serve on a battlefield. But every single student and every single person who walks into our center has their own personal battlefield that they deal with every single day. Maybe they're dealing with situations at home where they're not making the grades they should be making. Maybe mom and dad are having a tough medical situation. Maybe someone has said something to them at school and it's not right and it's being passed around the school. We try to make these stories so relevant to students in that how did those Medal of Honor recipients on their worst day, who have said on the day of their action, it was literally the worst day of their life, how were they able to take one more step and one more? Was it that courage? Was it because they were willing to make a sacrifice in the name of the people around them, their battle buddies, commitments? Or do they know deep down that if I don't do what I'm supposed to do right now, that I can't live with myself, and that's integrity? And we talk about all these values with students, also hitting our state standards. In 2028, the new state standard will also include describing the Medal of Honor and its origin from Tennessee. So thank you for having the foresight and investing in us already.
Thank you so much, Vince and Miranda.
That's a tough speech to follow right there. I'm Sammy Loudermilk. I'm the interim CEO at the Enterprise Center. We've requested continued city funding to support digital skills training, workforce development, neighborhood improvements, and increased civic engagement. A portion of this investment powers Tech Goes Home, directly serving 1,200 Chattanoogans with critical digital skills. We've relaunched Base Camp, a quarterly event series supporting small businesses, remote workers, and job seekers. We're also expanding our networking and neurodiversity events, creating employment pathways for neurodivergent residents. We continue to collaborate with EPB and Hamilton County Schools on EdConnect, bringing high-speed internet to over 28,000 residents. Also on floor 5 of the EDNY, we host around 20,000 visitors each year, offering free community space for hundreds of civic events. Through Chatham Matters, we continue helping residents understand how local government works and why it matters. And looking ahead to FY26, we'll launch the Advanced Digital Technologies Coalition, preparing our employers and workforce for the jobs in AI, quantum, cybersecurity, and more. Thank you again for your continued support over at the Enterprise Center. I'll give you back 40 seconds of your time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. I am Eric Myers. I'm the director of the Chattanooga Design Studio. I'm here to thank you for your support of the Chattanooga Design Studio and our operations. Your support really helps us collaborate and innovate and deliver our services to the community that is most important to help quality of life improve for all Chattanoogans. We really do that through heavy collaboration with so many departments in the city of Chattanooga, namely the Parks and Outdoors Department. You may know our work through Montague Park, and I appreciate the time that we've had together to talk about that project. It means a lot to me and the staff at Chattanooga Design Studio. You may not know about our educational programs, which you're also supporting by supporting the staff and the operations at the studio. From Civic, which is a quarterly speaker series, to Design Your Neighborhood, which is a middle school curriculum that helps everyone understand the built environment and how important it is to understand the big picture of how cities are built, not just one piece at a time, but understanding the city in a big picture and urban design way. And so I'm here today to thank you for your support and thank you for your ongoing support of the Chattanooga Design Studio in our 10th anniversary year of our nonprofit status. So thank you. I'll give you 40 seconds back.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
Good afternoon, everyone. I guess I'm a familiar face for most people. Has it started yet? Okay, I'm here on behalf of the Chattanooga Sports Authority. I serve as the co-chairperson of that board. And as you all will know, this is essentially an organization that the city of Chattanooga, this council used in order to promote or plan, develop, and finance sports arenas and sports stadiums and sports facilities. And those facilities not only provide public entertainment, but they also provide a medium through which economic development and economic growth will occur in the city, which also makes our city a better place for people to come and visit. And it also generates tax revenues, not just for the construction of the stadium itself or the facility itself, but also for schools and other purposes. So the latest project that we would have with this facility is about a $114 million project, none of which actually came out of the specific city budget that you are essentially going to act on, but through the facilitation of that organization and use of that funding mechanism, if you will, the city was able to secure $114 million in funding, none of which is paid through existing tax dollars by tax increment financing, which through the facility itself generates extra dollars in order to provide this particular outcome. So there's an agreement between the city and the authority, and the lookouts, that's going to generate an anticipated $1 billion in new investment, $2.3 billion in economic impact to the region. And it's also going to create $186 million in new education funding, and Hamilton County, and $2 million in new tax revenues. So thank you for the foresight to use that mechanism. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Johan de Nijssen. I am Chairman of the Board of Directors of CARTA.
and recently retired Chief Operating Officer for the Volkswagen Group, North America, with responsibility for the operations in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. My job brought me to Chattanooga. I recently retired and had the choice to go anywhere in the world. I chose to live here and remain here because I believe I share something in common with you, and that is my love for the city and for our community. Through my role at Volkswagen, I became very involved in workforce development and made many interesting discoveries about our community. For one thing, there are two Chattanoogas. There's the one economically, vibrantly successful, active economic growth, prosperity, the attractive place that we all like to claim as home. Then there's the other Chattanooga. The Federal Reserve of Atlanta will tell you that 40% of Chattanooga households earn $22,000 a year or below. And nobody can survive on that. And they rely increasingly on the good work done by many people in this community, but with social support, welfare programs, child support, housing support, food stamps, all those things. This has been systemic for decades. And if we want, as leaders of our community, to bring a solution, we need to bring education, we need to bring daycare facilities so you can unleash that part of the workforce that's looking after our future generations, and you bring access to mobility. Because access to mobility means access to opportunity, whether it's places of education, places of work. If you cannot get to work, you do not work. And your investment into Carter is not an investment into the bus company. It is an investment in the economic future of our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I'm Tashia Malakasis. I'm the CEO of the Company Lab. And I want to take maybe 4 to 6 seconds of my time to say how proud I am to live in a city that supports organizations like CARTA and Arts Build and Chat 2.0, and I'm looking around this room at my friends, and so I'm very pleased to be here and see that the city is supporting those things. I'm here to ask for your continued support for the organization that I run, and we are a entrepreneurial support organization, and we support entrepreneurs and pathways to wealth, and that seems potentially pretty narrow, but I'm going to tell you 7 reasons about why that matters for everybody else in this room. And why it matters is the work that we do with entrepreneurs. It strengthens the local innovation ecosystem. It attracts investment to the region, provides sustainable urban development environmental impact through our sustainable mobility program. We boost local business opportunities and partnerships. We create a pipeline of future-focused companies. We are rooted in job creation and skill development, and also contribute to enhanced regional branding and tourism appeal. These benefits demonstrate how the CoLab Sustainable Mobility and our other programs can have a lasting economic impact by creating jobs, attracting investment, fostering sustainability, and strengthening Chattanooga's economic future. A city without entrepreneurs and without startups is not contributing in the way that it could for the economic viability for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Edward Green, Jr. I'm just a citizen of Chattanooga. I've heard all of the titles that everybody has spoken just a few minutes ago, but I don't have a title. I'm just a concerned citizen. The Wilcox Tunnel, when I was 16 years old, was the first accident that I had as a 16-year-old teenage boy going through Wilcox Tunnel. If you've ever gone through Wilcox Tunnel, you won't forget it. Because you don't know if you're going to hit one side of the tunnel or if you're going to hit a car coming towards you. I would ask, as I spoke last year, to the Budget Committee in regards to the Wilcox Tunnel. Mr. Clark, we would hope that would be one of your main projects, that you would make sure that the lighting in that tunnel is suitable for people to go through that tunnel. I'm sure that a lot of you have gone through Wilcox Tunnel, either going to work or coming back from work, or going to Erlanger, or going to Park Ridge, or going to Memorial. All of those hospitals, if you don't go over the ridge, you have to go through the Wilcox Tunnel. So we would ask, as just concerned citizens, that you would give us a few of those dollars that you are giving away to the various organizations. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. Thanks for this opportunity and thanks for your service. I'm Carrie Randolph. I'm Executive Director of Chattanooga 2.0. We're the Birth to Career Collaborative for Hamilton County and Chattanooga, but I'm here today to thank you for your support of the Chattanooga Future Fund. The Chattanooga Future Fund, your investment has made that possible for our kids. It's a career and college savings account for every kindergartner and middle schooler in Hamilton County Public Schools. Every student, kindergartner and middle schooler, qualifies for a $150 seed into that account, which grows over time. But most of our families in the city limits of Chattanooga actually qualify for a $2,000 match from the state of Tennessee. And anyone can invest in these accounts on behalf of our kids. So they can grow over time, and it's in a direct investment in our kids' future. They can be used to support college, apprenticeships, workforce training. That includes books, housing, transportation. And that the 5-year pilot that you've helped invest in will support more than 40,000 of our kids over the next 5 years. And we've learned from other communities, although this is a program first of its kind, we like to be innovative and be the first, and Chattanooga is another example. So students who have between $100 and $500 in an account like this have been shown to be 3 times more likely to go to some type of post-secondary and 4 times more likely to graduate. That's a huge investment in our future, and the economic impact could be huge. I am a Chattanoogan, and I want to live in a community of hope and promise. I think this is one important tool towards that, and then direct investment in our kids. An estimated 80% of jobs by 2035 will require some type of training beyond high school, so we're investing in our future now. Thriving communities have hope, and the Future Fund, like I said, is an investment in that hope, an investment in our kids, their futures, and in our future. So thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Kate Cipriano. I'm the Vice President of the Community Association of Historic St. Elmo, informally referred to as CASE. CASE is a directly elected professional board operating as a 501c group that represents 3,500 Chattanoogans in one of the most incredible and vibrant corners of our city. Inside of that responsibility, we represent also and advocate for 11 churches, thousands of families, and 75 small businesses, all of which are within about a 1-block radius of the CARTA path down St. Elmo Avenue and Broad Street. We have been described quite often as one of the most active and organized neighborhood associations, and that means a lot of interaction with different city offices and officials, and that doesn't always equate to responsiveness or partnership. I would say the happy exceptions to that have been our District 7 Councilwoman, Rakita Dodley, and CARTA under the new leadership of Charles Frazier. In just a few meetings, our recent partnership with CARTA has helped support a flagship event which brought economic opportunity to some seriously suffering small businesses with the closure of the incline temporarily, and laid out an agenda for the promotion of CARTA services along that route with short-term vacation rentals, a change to the St. Elmo shuttle schedule that will allow greater commuter use, and the development of a real plan to address speeding and traffic calming along St. Elmo Avenue so that multimodal avenue is opened up for all citizens. The residents of St. Elmo are asking for you to fully fund CARTA's budget request, not because we are supporters of public transit, but because we are supporters of public services and public officials that are partners and that are responsive and that make our neighborhood more enjoyable, our businesses more successful, and our city a better place to call home. Thank you.
Good afternoon, council and public. My name is Lakeisha Strickland. I'm president of ATU Local 1212 and a fixed route driver at Carter. I represent 4 classifications. That's your downtown shuttle, your paratransit, and fixed route and maintenance. So I represent the drivers who serve Chattanooga every day. We see what's happening on our streets with our riders. Carter, we serve people from all walks of life in all walks of life in all neighborhoods, from the professor at UTC, from the nurse at Erlanger, from the TVA worker to the Standiford Place housekeeper. We serve it all. So there's not one group of people that rides our transit. But I'm here to ask you all to connect with those residents and for Carter to grow, that we need to be funded. As you all know, we've been underfunded for years. So I was asking the council if they could fully fund Carter's budget requests, because we do move this city. And I want to thank all of you supporting public transit. And with that, we're committed to serving this community well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Vivian Lozano, and I am the Chief Operating Officer at La Paz Chattanooga. I want to start by thanking you for supporting La Paz Chattanooga. Last year, we proudly celebrated 20 years of La Paz in our community. For 2 decades, we have worked to create a more inclusive city where Latinos can thrive, advancing opportunities in education, economic empowerment, healthcare access, and cultural engagement. This milestone is not just a reflection of our history, but a launch pad for the future. With nearly 50,000 calls to our center annually, hundreds of individuals receiving direct assistance, as well as engaging our programs and events, our numbers tell a story of challenges, but also of hope and opportunity for some of the most marginalized members of our community. Our 2023 community survey showed that 51 participants came to Chattanooga for employment opportunities, and 84% expressed an interest in starting their own business, but needed help navigating the process of eliminating barriers. Through our workforce programs last year alone, 100 students improved their English skills over a series of 10-week courses, 49 individuals learned crucial digital skills, and 19 budding entrepreneurs completed our inaugural business fundamental cohort. All of our programming is made possible through strategic partnerships which cultivate trust and empower other organizations to expand their capacity to serve this growing demographic in our city. And they also work to maximize the impact of your funding dollars. Even through the challenging environment we're currently facing statewide and nationally, our focus continues to be to unlock the incredible potential within the Latino community to drive economic growth, innovation, and cultural enrichment across the region. We will continue to deliver programs and initiatives that are client-led and that foster entrepreneurship, leadership, financial empowerment, and community connection. By investing in people, particularly the immigrants who physically build and sustain our communities, we are building a stronger, more vibrant Chattanooga for everyone.
Thank you, Vivian.
Hello, friends. My name is Janine Carpenter. I am the Chief Communications Officer at the Chattanooga Area Food Bank. And I suspect most of you are like, hey, I know what the food bank does. So first, let me say thank you for your support of our work and maybe tell you about a couple things you don't know about the food bank or you haven't thought about in a while. First of all, the Chattanooga Area Food Bank doesn't work alone. You're hearing from so many of our partners in the room today. We work with 60 other agencies and programs across Hamilton County to make sure we are getting food to our food insecure households. Those are the homes that don't always know where their next meal is going to come from. Our fastest growing population of people who are identifying as food insecure are working households with children. And certainly a number of things have stacked up to make it even more difficult for those families to feed their children in recent months. And as we approach summer, it's an urgent time to make sure we continue to support their needs. We have the largest client and neighbor serving pantry in Hamilton County. We run it at the food bank. We are serving over 4,000 families a month who need some food assistance to make ends meet, and to find that place of economic security that they can only get if their basic needs are there first. So I want to say thank you and encourage you to continue supporting the good work of the food bank, and honestly, the good work of our whole nonprofit sector, who is here making a beautiful case for how together we make the heart of Chattanooga, and we're really proud of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Siobhan.
Hello, Council. My name is Kristen McCauley. I'm the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center of Hamilton County. We're the largest on-site partner at the Family Justice Center, and so I want to thank you for that partnership. Additionally, I want to thank you for your ongoing support of our forensic interviews. These interviews are for law enforcement, the Department of Children's Services, the District Attorney's Office, and they provide evidence in criminal investigations when there is a severe allegation of abuse against a child. The primary type is sexual, followed by physical, then drug exposure, and we've seen an increase in our trafficking cases as well. Additionally, due to a statutory update, any child who witnesses a violent crime can be interviewed, and that can also be used in criminal court. We've been requested by major crimes to do these interviews a few times over the last year as well. We've seen an increase in drug-exposed children, and the majority of those cases are within Chattanooga city limits. And in 2024, the deaths related to drug-exposed children were also in Chattanooga city limits. We staff those cases with our Child Protective Investigation team and sit on the Child Fatality Review. The funding from the city supports both those actions. Our interviewers are statutorily mandated to have specific training for these cases to be entered in criminal court. And since our prosecution rate has increased from less than 3% to about 20% of our cases, there has been an increase in court participation as well. So this funding is to support the accountability of perpetrators of sexual violence in this community. It will help keep kids safe, and we appreciate the ongoing partnership. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, City Council members. My name is Bridget Massengill, and I serve as the President and CEO of Thrive Regional Partnership right here in Chattanooga, serving this tri-state region. Thank you for the ongoing support that you've given us and the region, and for the opportunity to kind of talk to you a little bit about us today. We serve the city through collaborative research and data tools and convening with the region across your neighboring municipalities across the 16-county tri-state area, really to inspire everybody to be thinking about responsible and inspired growth that absolutely affects the quality of life and the economic prosperity of this place that we call home. So Chattanooga, as you know, sits at the heart of Freight Alley, which is a vital logistics corridor where 3 major interstates converge. They're fed from 2 other metropolitan areas and 3 states, including Tennessee, and then the rural communities that are helping to fill the jobs that are recruited into this vibrant city every day. The interstates are moving more than $250 billion worth of goods annually, and our infrastructure is under serious strain. I-24 alone was projected to carry 33 million tons of freight by 2035, and instead we hit nearly 40 million in 2023, 12 years ahead of schedule, and we're now on track to reach 63 million by 2050. The role of Thrive is looking at the congestion. We are looking at the cost of congestion to our logistics companies here in the region. We are looking at the cost to our employees that are driving in and out, and we're also looking at the severe weather events that are resulting. So we are proud to have worked with Resilient Communities right here in Chattanooga last year. They are now serving, that was in our Emma Wheeler homes. They were a cohort of other communities across the region that they are now serving as an example, a vibrant leader for others, and we will continue supporting them through this opportunity to be funded again through the city. So we thank you for all you do, and we continue raising Chattanooga as a shining beacon across this tri-state region.
Thank you.
Afternoon, y'all. I'm Charles from Chattanooga Chamber. I think I know most of you. I'm waiting for one more meeting, but appreciate the partnership from the folks who have been up here for a long time, as well as the new council members that are here. So effectively, the Chattanooga Chamber is your sales team. That's the main thing you need to know. If you want to drive new revenue, you got to sell. And so for us, every project we work on means there's new revenue that the city has in property taxes and sales taxes. And that gives you revenue that some of that may go to some of these nonprofits, but it also gives you revenue for police and fire and roads and all of those other wonderful things. So we are your sales team. That's the first thing I would say. Our purpose is to build a thriving Chattanooga. At our very heart, that's who we've been for 138 years. And we've done that through a myriad of things. So that's a simple purpose, but it's very complicated work. And I would just say one project example to give you kind of a little bit of feedback there. We worked with West Star Aviation to expand out at the airport earlier this year. That project will generate about $500,000 a year in new revenue for the city. That's just property taxes and sales taxes. That's none of the spinoff, no fancy multipliers. That's it. They're going to do that every year for probably a while. Many of the projects we worked on have been integral to the city. And so I'll give you just a few with some partners in the room that have done great work. Chattanooga Future Fund, which Carrie Randolph spoke about, 2.0 lives under the Chattanooga Chamber. You're going to hear from Project Return, which is focused on ex-offenders and kind of providing support and reentry. We recruited Project Return to Chattanooga. You heard from the Housing Authority. We worked with the city staff, many of you that are here, on the Ben TIF, which will help fund the infrastructure that goes to pay for the redevelopment of the West Side Housing Project. The chair of CARTA wouldn't be here if we didn't work with our partners in the city and county to recruit Volkswagen. So we're your salespeople. Looking forward to working with you in the future. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Charles.
Kevin Muhammad, Community Haven. Thought I had 3, got to do it in 2. Our work is working, but we have so much more work to do. Mayor Tim Kelly. In December of 2022-23, the Community Haven entered a partnership with the City of Chattanooga, a pilot program to patrol the Bushtown neighborhood. Began door to door, house by house, street by street, block by block. Our work, year number 1, crime reduced by 12%. Reestablished the neighborhood association in Bushtown, adopted Archonald Middle School, collaborated with the Office of Community Health, established a mutual working relationship with the police department, then former Police Chief Murphy, now Chief Chambers, partnership with Judge Filliard, Juvenile Detention Center, held neighborhood cookouts at Carver Center, Avondale Center, East Chattanooga, Bayberry, on the campus of Community Haven, established relationships with business owners, churches, organizations, but more importantly, the people in the community. Our work employed nearly 50 people, either full-time, part-time, or seasonal, contracted over 50 plus 1099 small contractors, earning more than $600, hosted summer camps for middle school boys, started Girls Academy, where we had young girls tour colleges, traveled to Washington, D.C., South Carolina, Birmingham, Florida, enrolled over 100 young people in our career development training, teaching them how to write resumes, applications. At the completion of it, all of them earned $300 to open up their own bank account, hired nearly 25 youth for summer employment, earning up to $2,000. Our work, patrolling the community, we have grown from 3 patrol cars to 9 patrol cars, 4 patrol bikes, 15 passenger bus, 25 passenger bus, 6 full-time patrollers in the streets in Bushtown. Our work has been bringing peace into the streets through conflict resolution, escorting children, de-escalating possible homicides with guns actually drawn, de-escalating fights, returning lost pets to owners, preventing public indecency acts. Our work goes on, and hopefully you and I can continue to partner, continue our work. Thank you.
Good, thank you, Brother Muhammad. And Emily, before you start, we started at around 3:40, so we're looking at about 4:40, but we can take a few extra. Is there anyone else outside of this last young lady right here that plans to speak? If so, please get in line here, because if you don't know me as a chair, you will know. If you're not in line, you ain't got nothing to say. So go ahead. So please go ahead and get in line. Okay, so Shane here. Is anybody else behind Shane that plans to speak? Okay. Shane is the caboose, and I will end it right there. Yes. All right, Emily, go right ahead.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yes, thank
Well,
you.
good afternoon. My name is Emily Mack, and I'm the president and CEO of River City Company. River City Company is a nonprofit organization, and we were founded in 1986 to reinvest in, revitalize, and redevelop downtown Chattanooga. Downtown is the economic engine for our city and our region, and it's also the social and cultural heart of our community. For over 40 years, we've had an incredible collaborative partnership with the city of Chattanooga to create and to cultivate a world-class downtown for all. I'm sure you're familiar with some of those collaborative partnerships, including the Tennessee Riverwalk. That was our very first project. The Tennessee Aquarium, the Creative Discovery Museum, and the 21st Century Waterfront. All things that people across our city enjoy today. Since that public investment in the 21st Century Waterfront, over the past 25 years, that has spurred over $2 billion of private investment into our local economy. Downtown, by acreage, is actually pretty small, makes up 4% of the entire land area for our city. But the tax revenue that's generated from downtown is pretty substantial, makes up 13% of the general fund. And that is tax revenue that goes for city services, that's invested throughout our entire city, and investments in our neighborhood throughout our entire city. So we look forward to that continued partnership with the city of Chattanooga. Thank you so much. And this is really us. This is us doubling down on downtown so that we can support the entire city. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Hello, everybody, council members. My name is Josiah Abney, and I'm here on behalf of Project Return, a nonprofit that the city has generously supported since we opened our doors in 2021 to provide a full and free life for people coming out of incarceration. We provide participants with a week-long job training class with wraparound support services. We provide clothes, tools, shoes, and equipment for when people start their first job. They don't have to worry about safety or security when they start their careers. We're currently in a 4-year grant partnership with the city who's supporting us. Their funding pays for over our critical 24/7 employee transportation services, guaranteeing a safe and reliable ride to work for our participants in the workforce. It also pays for our life coach who guides participants through their return to society, assisting in finding housing, medical appointments, behavioral coaching, and more. These positions alone set us apart when participants come through our doors. To know that you don't have to worry about getting a ride to work or dealing with the troubles of life alone mean that while the national average for recidivism, which is the likelihood to return to incarceration in the next 3 years, hovers at around 62%, ours is at 15%, just in that same time frame. Last year, we alone assisted 250 participants returning from incarceration, with 1/3 of them returning to work in our staffing agency, and 70% of our total participants finding a job after completing our job readiness programs. With the city's support of our revenue-generating work, it means that we're able to turn these dollars into careers for participants and actual real income for our program, meaning we can do more with less. Our financial literacy partnership with Operation Hope has opened the door for over 550 participants to get one-on-one discussion and training over money management, budgeting, credit repair, and all of those things. Lastly, we want to thank the City Council for considering their continued support of this budget and the life-changing, career-generating work that Project Return fights for every day. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Josiah.
Good afternoon. My name is Leslie Scarce, and I'm the president and CEO of the United Way of Greater Chattanooga. And I have to say that considering the amazing work we get to do at United Way to connect and uplift and elevate the nonprofits in our community, it's awesome to hear the updates and the reports from so many of our critical partners. So thank you to the city, and thank you to everyone who's here today. If the Chamber of Commerce is your sales force, then I want to say that the United Way, and specifically our 211 and the partners that are part of that, are really the infrastructure of support for the city of Chattanooga. 211 is a free local service that has been operated by the United Way of Greater Chattanooga since 1982, and it connects people in crisis to the top 3 needs are food, utility assistance, and housing, and other essential services. This calendar year alone, we are on track to answer 81,000 local calls to our local 211. That has increased from 28,000 before COVID to $81,000 today. I also want to note that since we've been partnering with the city of Chattanooga and increasing our investment in 211 operations, we have moved from a 60% answer rate to a 98% answer rate on every call, which is exciting. I want to say 211 is more than a call center. It is more than a hotline. It is a bridge to vital community services for so many of the partners you've heard from in this room. In addition to that, we are able to deploy direct assistance and help to our neighbors when they call 211, if there's not another service available to them or if they've gotten to the end of their rope. And last year, we were able to help over 3,000 households directly to pay the rent, keep the lights on, fix the broken car so they can get to work, or pay for the steel-toed boots so someone can start their job on Monday. That's what 211 is all about. I think you've already heard a lot about our working families that are struggling. We've been expanding our outreach to reach more people with children in our community, and that's because of you all and the partners in this room. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Kimbrough. I serve as the Senior Director for the Urban League of Greater Chattanooga. We are a community-centered economic empowerment nonprofit organization created to ensure access for underserved communities, helping families to achieve their highest potential. And annually, we serve nearly 10,000 residents throughout the year, and that's thanks to your investment. The city's sole source funds provided only 4.7% of our total budget, which allowed us to serve 3,000 participants of our 10,000 participant program. The cost for the city is on average of $50 per participant, but valued at over $1 million. And we really appreciate what you do for our organization, and I encourage you to continue to support us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leah.
I'm Kevin Hyde, CEO for Partnership for Families, Children, and Adults. And we've been partnering and serving with you for over 148 years. And I'm also proud to say that we're partners with almost every other nonprofit that you've heard speak today to deliver safety, stability, and hope to the most vulnerable in our community. Thank you for your support of our victim support services, which includes the 24/7 crisis hotlines for victims of sexual assault and domestic violence, where they contact a trained advocate and counselor who can discern if they're in the presence of an abuser to keep them alive. You also support through that line a triage to our Rape Crisis Center, which has seen a 26% increase over 3 years, and our domestic violence shelter, which did over 13,500 bed nights last year, which is a 66% increase over 3 years. Through your support and partnership, we are able to take care of those most vulnerable, make sure they're not just victims, but they're survivors. And that hope for the future includes not only a place to live, but a living wage job so that they can turn into the survivors that are productive members of this community and not defined by the trauma that they've experienced. With your help, we're able to do that on an annual basis and provide essential services that, as your provider, would otherwise have to be provided by the city. Thank you, and we appreciate your support.
All right. Thank you, Kevin.
Good afternoon. My name is Takora Peterson. I serve as the Chief Executive Officer with Girls Inc. of Chattanooga. So I would like to first begin by thanking past and current administration for 64 years of service here in Hamilton County, serving over 38,000 girls, families, and counting. I am here because we at Girls Inc. of Chattanooga are being attacked on the DEI efforts. From a federal and a national lens, we are losing funding because we are gender specific. But the statistics are out there that girls need a space where they can take risks, where they can make mistakes, and they can strive freely. At the end of the day, the end game for what we do at Girls Inc. is to make sure that every girl has every opportunity, be it that she is an entrepreneur, that she sits on city council, county commission, whatever it is, we want to produce responsible and productive citizens. So we do thank you for the funds for
our Girls Start Academy, that is a kindergarten boot camp that not only works with them for 7 weeks in the summer, but we are able to follow them throughout the kindergarten year. Girls Inc. needs a building. We for summer camp this year, we are serving 140 girls, and we have 4 restrooms for those 140 girls to use along with our staff. So we are in need of a building if someone has that. We understand that in order for girls to be strong, smart, and bold, that there has to be a stronger, smarter, bolder family. And so our Family Resource Center, which acts as a caveat to addressing the whole needs of the whole girl and the whole family. So again, we are here to say thank you, but to continue to think about the work that we do. Girls matter, youth matter, nonprofits matter, and we could not do the work that we do without your funding. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Gordon Inman. I'm a clarinetist, and I'm the vice president of the Local Musicians Union, AFM Local 80. I'm going to speak a little bit broader, although many of my friends are here and have already asked y'all for money. Chattanooga is an arts city. I think there are many people in here who came here because they believe that. Hey, arts people. And I believe many of us really do agree with that. That can mean many things. It can mean our history, like the fact that we're right next to the Big Nine. It means the ubiquity. There are artists everywhere. I have jammed with one of you. Hey, Cody. And more importantly than anything, it means it is a place that people who contribute to that arts economy should be able to make a living. The way that we do that, almost without a doubt, now that there's no more Lupton money, is grants. And there's only one place locally. Go ahead and take that. There's only one place locally where we're getting all of that. And I'm sorry, I know some of you have already probably talked about Arts Build in a greater way. Hey, James, happy birthday. I've been told many times on boards that I'm on and everything else that I know always where to keep my eye on the ball. We're at a place right now, especially when the world's very crazy, where keeping our eye on the ball is so important and it's so easy not to do. I have to say this as someone who truly believes that this is an art city and that people deserve to make a living here if they are artists. The ball is Arts Build. If you are wondering, if there's any doubt in your mind, if you remember anything else today, the ball is Arts Build as an organization, and beyond that, it's everyone else here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mixie Mixon. I wanted to say a few words in support of Arts Build. In 2024, I had the opportunity to be a part of their Periscope Chattanooga Entrepreneurs in the Arts program, and through that I was allotted $1,500 for my play and production that pays working artists here in Chattanooga. I was able to do that through the grants and the support from Arts Build. And I know that we have many working artists here in the room today, and I think that we all have the power as a community to revitalize the arts and entertainment industry here in Chattanooga. I think working in tandem with, we talk about how great the tourism industry does here. What if our visitors had a play to watch or could see a local band, and we could give them some of that authentic Chattanooga culture through our arts? But to do that, we need support. We need support for working artists, not just so that we can gain the pay that we do need for our time and our specialized skills and our expertise, but also so that we can circulate that back into the city that we know and love. I also work over at Barking Legs Theater, which is a hub not just for local artists, but also for touring artists. And Arts Build helps fund all of these organizations. So I'd like to advocate for an increase of the allotted funds in the budget to Arts Build. Thank you. I now yield my time.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Haley. I'm the executive director for the Seed Theater. If you're not familiar with us, we started as a community theater, and we've grown into an LGBTQ safe space and community hub for Chattanooga and the surrounding areas. We're leaders in advocacy, mutual aid, solidarity, diversity, inclusion, and education. Theater, for us and for many other art forms, serve as mutual aid connectors and the framework to support mental health, specifically in our youth. SEED serves a significant number of people, of young folks especially, who are facing mental health challenges and illnesses. Like many other organizations, we work hard to minimize the risk of suicide, which is a very real thing that we face, not just in our queer community, but in our youth as a whole. I personally benefited from theater growing up, and I was able to grow up into a productive citizen who's brought my own business to Chattanooga, and we also employ other people through our nonprofit organization. All of that is dedicated to and is because of art, and we really want to echo the things that have been said already, just right in front of me, to circle you back to the importance of arts and that access for our young people so that they can continue to thrive and grow as people themselves. Young people have a lot of things that challenge them. It's crucial that we give them healthy and safe places for them to explore their potential, their futures, and their lives. Theater builds confidence in the well-being of those who are involved, but it also connects organizations together to support the community as a whole. As you saw earlier, when James stood up first to speak, there's a whole room of people here that are concerned about the arts, and I know there's a whole room next door of people who are also concerned about the arts. And so I want to speak up for those people and advocate along with Mixie and James and Gordon and everybody else who's spoken on behalf of the arts to please continue investing in the arts in big ways, and please give us all the money that we possibly can, because that money keeps coming back to the city in bigger and better ways, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm Chris Thompson with Chattanooga Neighborhood Enterprise. Thank you, first of all, for all the support you've given for nearly 40 years of activity at C&E. We will be celebrating our 40th birthday next summer. What drives me in the work is a few things: do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly. We're humbly aware of the enormity of the task of affordable housing. And it takes more than us. It takes a community, everybody here with us, and the support of a city council and a government that cares deeply about its citizens. Justice is affordable housing. Care is affordable housing. And one of my other favorite quotes, sentiment without action is the ruin of the soul. Let's not talk about it, let's do it together. You've heard it said, go big or go home. Let's go big so people can go home with a roof over their heads. 40 years of your support has led to the following: 5,000 home buyers through programs at C&E because of your support. $500 million of equity built for first-time home buyers in Chattanooga. 3,900 homes improved, because we need to preserve it, not just build it, through the efforts of C&E with your support. 37,000 people counseled through financial literacy programs and home buyer counseling and coaching. We manage 245 units of affordable housing. The average renter income is just over $31,000 a year. We need more of that, much more. We've created over 300 single-family homes. We have saved nearly $500,000 for folks through our Alternative to Payday Lending program. Vibrant neighborhoods, prosperous people is what drives us in our work. And I'll close with the words of Robert Frost: promises to keep and miles to go before we sleep. Miles to go before we sleep. Work needs to be done. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
And I'm a proud Chattanoogan, looking forward to doing the next 40 years of our effort.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Hey there, I'm Jens Christensen with Habitat for Humanity, and like Chris, I'm here to advocate for affordable housing. When we look at that, it's a big task, and my understanding is that in almost all constituent surveys, when you look at the city of Chattanooga, the #1 issue remains the quality and quantity of affordable housing, the context of the neighborhood, the things that go around it. It really is the one thing that ties together almost all the other concerns, whether it be education, crime, transportation, any of the things that actually are concerns in a community. It genuinely comes down to the quality and context of the housing in that area. One of the biggest things I'd like to point out is that your support of affordable housing in the community actually comes back to pay you. When we look at the hundreds of homes that Habitat has built alone, You're looking at people that genuinely, generally, it's always fun to talk up here and get your words wrong, generally are actually receiving tax subsidy. Well, annually right now, the owners of those homes put back millions of dollars a year into property tax. When we combine that with what C&E and other providers have done, you're looking at a substantial amount of property tax revenue occurring each year to actually go into your general budget and ensure that you can support all of these worthy organizations. You know, we're also blessed here to have a very strong and creative city staff that we get to work with. Most of our experience with Habitat, working with that staff in housing, has been around preservation. Depends on what number you look at, but we are somewhere between 4,000 and, 15,000 units of deficit in affordable housing in the city of Chattanooga. We cannot continue to lose affordable housing and lose the wealth of the residents that are below 80% of area median income while trying to rebuild that. We have to do something to preserve that wealth and allow the transformative American dream to actually go into every household and every family. So thank you for considering that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
There we go. I decided quickly not to take a lot of time to talk about Rise Chattanooga, talk about this Black-led organization, talk about my 10-year anniversary. But I came actually to see, hopefully to have everybody that is listening to my voice right now, just take a moment to reflect back when we were going through our crisis with pandemic. What did we rely on mostly? We relied on the basics. We were in fear. There was total dismay, but there was still a little bit of hope that came from arts, came from culture, and came from community leadership. What you do is hard. And I commend each and every one of you for doing something that a lot of folks did not want to do. Take a look at every stone and taking a look and seeing what really counts, what is going to make a difference in our community. I quickly say to you is that please remember the unserved folk, those communities that are sometimes underrepresented because they don't receive the dollars. We're in East Chattanooga. I'm not just or run a nonprofit. We're a community builder. Our investment came through buying 2 pieces of property within inside of East Chattanooga, not for the organization, but for the community. I thank you for continuing to see the positive difference with the funds, where hopefully with the ones who get funded, but for the ones who continually get underfunded. I say to you, take a look at the whole community at a large, because as we talk about one Chattanooga, we could not become a city collectively together to grow if we're not serving all of the communities that are in need. That's my time.
Thanks, Shane.
Thank you all. My name is Antine Offenbach. I am a freelance grant writer here in Chattanooga. I work with primarily arts organizations, many of whom are represented here today, including the dozens of people in the overflow room that you guys can't see at the moment. The organizations that are here today and the ones that I work with range from budgets in size $50,000 up to $3.5 million. Every dollar in our community matters greatly to them. And they, in turn, inject another $191 million annually back into our Chattanooga economy. For individual stories from the people that have been impacted by the arts, you guys can just check your email, because I'm sure they're going to be full of a lot of heartfelt personal stories about why the arts are important here. Each one of us stands in solidarity with the folks that are advocating for CARTA, for unhoused populations, for United Way, and for all of the other services that are important to us as Chattanoogans. And we are really here to advocate for more funding opportunities for the arts, because now, with the cuts that are coming down federally, the donors and patrons that we rely on in our arts community are stretched, the local foundations that support us are stretched, and the artists that make our city culturally relevant are also stretched. The unprecedented cuts to the arts are leaving minimal resources, especially when combined with the cuts to health and human services that will cause other areas of Chattanooga to need to redirect funding to those folks. So in short, please make sure that our funding opportunities stay available, because we, as an industry, are bearing a lot of the burden of all cuts elsewhere that people often don't think about. And that is a big part of why you have so many people who have shown up here today to offer their support for the arts community and for the other wonderful organizations here.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Taylor Brown. I'm the principal double bassist of the Chattanooga Symphony Opera. I'm an adjunct professor at UTC. I'm faculty on the Government School for the Arts, Sewanee Music Festival. I'm a freelance recording artist. I work with local bands. So I play music for a living. A lot of people here have spoken about the economic impact about the arts. I can't provide anything more than talking about the less quantitative things associated with the arts. Everyone here has been personally touched by the arts in some way. It's an easy sell there. But there's something we need to keep in mind as people living in this moment. Preservation of the arts is the responsibility of the people living in it. We are here to preserve human culture for everyone going forward. So I'm going to ask you now, as humans currently living in this moment and having the power to preserve the culture of your community, I'm asking you to think about that and think about how the arts have impacted you personally as you are making this budget and making difficult decisions. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your support, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Hi, Council. Thank you for having me up here. My name is Charlotte Caldwell. I'm the director of Stoveworks. I'm delighted to speak on behalf of Arts Build. I moved back to Chattanooga 10 years ago to create a space for contemporary practice. I like to use the term practice because it implies a working towards, like an exercise, an effort to be better and do better. I moved back to Chattanooga because it feels like a city with its own practice, a city that is trying to be better and to do better. Through art, questions are posited and answers are sought, although not necessarily found. We do this through music, through craft, through visual art, through creative writing, and through dance, among others. At the core of these conversations are artists, and with them are not only the people who witness our audiences and our communities, but also the organizations that support them, and in this case, specifically Arts Build. Arts Build has been essential to shaping my experience of the arts in Chattanooga over the last 10 years. In addition to supporting our organization, Arts Build provides direct support to artists through the Regia grants, to emerging organizations with few resources and opportunities for funding through their CCC grants, and to schools by providing grants for subsidized tickets and transportation. And that is only the short list of the many things that they do that impact us as artists and creators. Their support is not only financial, it is emotional. We are supported by them, but more importantly, we feel supported by them. I ask that you continue to support the arts and Arts Build and all of the organizations that had the courage to speak to you guys today, in an effort to do better and to do better, as you already are. So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much to everyone who has come out and given us public comment during the public hearing for our FY26 budget hearing. We appreciate you and appreciate you taking the time to come out, even though we have some inclement weather coming. And with that, and if you have any other comments or questions, feel free to reach out to your council members or a member of the administration. And with that, I will close this budget hearing and turn it back over to our Madam Chair.
Testing.
Okay, council, it got lonesome in here real quick. Madam Clerk, will you please read our ordinance on final reading, items A, B, C, and E?
Yes. Item A, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to lift conditions from ordinance number 10358, a previous case number 1995-0215, on part of property located at 3945 Cromwell Road. Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 3210 Broad Street and 3280 William Street from CMU1 Commercial Mixed-Use Zone to CMU2 Commercial Mixed-Use Zone. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 1823 Ridgeway Boulevard from UIX4 Urban Industrial Zone to UCX6 Commercial Mixed-Use Zone. Item E, an ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, the Chattanooga zoning ordinance adopted by ordinance number 14137 on July 23, 2024. B, to clarify multi-unit developments cannot exceed 25% of total units for short-term vacation rentals, correct residential zones, dimensional height limitation, clarify on-site tree requirements and setbacks, add institutional zone standards inside the urban overlay, and add permitted uses in the IH heavy industrial zone.
Thank you. Council, can I get a motion?
Second.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Do I have any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item D, Madam Clerk, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 1500 East 14th Street from RN15 residential neighborhood zone to TRN3 traditional residential neighborhood zone, subject to certain conditions.
Councilman Elliott.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to amend this particular item. I think there was some confusion as we were reading in conditions last week.
Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Okay, so this is a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second?
No, it's,
Well,
so
we
I
need to
would like
get a motion to
to
get
make
it
a
on the
motion
floor.
to amend.
Yeah, but I gotta get it on the floor first.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second, and now you've made a motion to amend.
Yes.
Can I get a second on that? Thank you. We have a motion on the floor to amend with a proper second. Go ahead with what your amendment is, please.
So the amendment is a minimum of 20-foot rear setback, a minimum of a 10-foot side setback, and a 28 feet height limit, and that there should be no detached units.
Was
that's
some
in the
of,
form
was
of a
some of
motion.
that in the original
Yes,
that we
but-
amended last week? So,
But it was read incorrectly, and based on how it was gonna read, it would have messed up how they were gonna be able to develop on that particular property.
You want me to read the four conditions?
I do, because we have the no detached housing already in this item already. We have the 28-foot maximum structure height. So it looks like we just need to add the word minimum to two different items?
Yes.
Just add minimum to items number 1 and 2 here. So minimum 20-foot rear setback and minimum 10-foot side setback, and the remainder are the same conditions.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so you have what the amendment
Yes.
is, Mr. Attorney? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, council, we have that motion on the floor to amend as described by the city attorney. Do I have any questions or comments? Councilman Henderson.
Mr. Attorney, it sounds like to me, we're adding the word minimum to the setback, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that enough to put this back at first reading?
The reason we are wanting to at least make that amendment, we got a request from planning on the aspect of that.
I
so-
get that.
Yes, sir.
I'm just asking, does just adding the word minimum then throw this back to first read?
Just wanted to make, yes, sir.
It does?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we all understood that this would go back to first reading, and then we would not hear this again for second reading until after, well,
Correct.
2 weeks.
June
the 3rd.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Councilman Elliott.
Yes, to address Chairman Henderson, yes, excuse me. Councilman Henderson. Yes, it's unfortunate because I want this passed and done with as soon as possible so the developer can get moving what they need to do. But had we not fixed this, according to RPA, this could have really set him back on how he could have built. So.
I just want to make it clear that, yes, this now.
Yes, sir, I'd love to take it as just a clerical, but it does change the meaning.
I tried.
Okay. All right, council, we have a motion to amend with a proper second. All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to amend passes. Can I get a motion to approve as amended?
So moved.
All right, council, we have a motion on the floor to approve as amended with a proper second. Do you have any questions or comments? Looks like we're good to go. All in favor to approve as amended?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, resolutions. Item A, please, Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Economic Development to enter into an interlocal agreement for the maintenance and management of surface parking lot with Chattanooga Area Regional Transportation Authority and substantially the form attached for the surface lot underneath the Ojati Bridge to be used for bus and handicap parking at no cost to the public for the term through February 25, 2034.
Second.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Do you have any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving to the mayor's office, Madam Clerk, will you please read B and C? We'll take those as a package.
Item B, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Shelby Parrish to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 1, Lookout Valley, for a term beginning on May 21, 2025, and ending on May 20, 2026. Item C, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Grace Bowie to the Tree Commission for a term beginning on May 21, 2025, and ending on May 20, 2029.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Do I have any questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Public Works, item D, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to enter into a joint funding agreement with the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, to operate 3 continuous real-time precipitation gauges and 7 continuous real-time stream gauges located on North Chickamauga Creek, South Chickamauga Creek, Chattanooga Creek, Mountain Creek, Old Creek, Lookout Creek, and Friars Branch for emergency preparedness and flood response activities for the period beginning April 1, 2025 through March 31, 2026 in the amount of $118,339 and authorizing the city share of $107,464.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Do you have any questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. All right, moving into police, y'all, I don't think we have our retiring service dogs here, but we did have an owl earlier. Oh, do we have a puppy back there? Oh. Here we go. Who is this? Is this Anik or Rex?
This is Onik, ma'am.
Onik, okay. Welcome, Onik. Thank you for your service, sir. All right, Madam Clerk, will you please read E through G?
Item E, a resolution authorizing the retirement of K9 Onik as a service dog. Item F, a resolution authorizing the retirement of K9 Rex as a service dog. Item G, a resolution authorizing the Chief of Police to donate a 1999 Ford E350 van, P752, vehicle identification number IFSWE 303L4XHC 0993 in good condition to Habitat for Humanity and Community Partnership. Speed Pro has offered to wrap the van for Habitat for Humanity at no cost as an asset that has fully depreciated with the city of Chattanooga for a value of $3,480.
All right, Onik has some serious paparazzi happening. Let's see, Councilman Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If it permissible, I'd like to hear from, I guess, Chief Hewitt about the service of this particular dog and maybe the other one that we're retiring.
Yes, certainly, Councilman. First of all, Anik wants to say a few words about his retirement. Or not. Now he's all excited. Yeah.
Good boy.
So we are grateful for Anik's many years of dedicated service to the department and the community. Not only has he been a tremendous resource and assets in just his day-to-day operations, but the K-9 unit in general, you know, I would argue even through previous assignments and experiences is a life-saving unit. These animals, dogs, partners, teammates, whatever you would like to refer to them as, will deploy into places that would not be the most tactically effective to put an officer. So, you know, they will jeopardize their own personal safety to make sure that our personnel are safe, and we thank you for that, buddy. And we're sorry that your buddy Rex couldn't physically be here. He was not in the headspace to come in here right now, so we want to make sure that.
I understand that.
But,
I'm there myself.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we have a productive council environment here to serve the community, and bringing Rex in may not have added value to that today.
Maybe he can drive that van over there to Habitat for Humanity.
Perhaps we can, yes, we're hopeful. I don't know if you want to do that now. We actually did put together a very brief and short video presentation so that you could all meet Rex.
I think we should do that.
You did it.
He did not. Wow.
And that last scene is why Rex isn't here.
Councilwoman Byrd.
I want to thank you all, and thank you, Anik, for your service. I say this seriously, what are their plans? I know lots of times officers will adopt the dogs and they'll end up keeping them. Dogs, I mean, if you have a dog in your life, you realize they give 200% for every 100% of love and loyalty. And so I hope that, I'd love to know their plans.
And I'll let the handlers speak to it, but obviously the thousands of hours that is invested in that relationship through the training hours, the work hours, the service hours, they're out in the communities. It's a special bond, but.
It is.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, Garrity, but he is one of our remarkable K-9 handlers, and MPO Wilson here. These are the two that are going to be caring for these.
They're going to be
dogs,
so they'll be living with you, continue to live with each of you.
And he's trying to sneak around here. He wants to act like he's going to lick me, but he remembers a training scenario from a while back, and he might nip it. I'm just teasing. Garrity wouldn't let that happen.
Well, I know it takes a special person to train them and to also love them unconditionally as much as they love you as well. So
yes,
thank you both for your service and patience with making them the service dogs that they are.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, Councilman Henderson.
Well, if we're through with comments, are you ready for a motion?
I had one thing to say.
Go ahead.
I appreciate that video because not only did it show us the work that Rex does, but it really gave us a glimpse into the training that you all do. And we're obviously in budget season and we're looking hard at how we address compensation over the long term and how we use city funds well. And the level of professionalism that our Chattanooga police bring to their work and to our surrounding area is something that we appreciate very much, and I think we can all be very proud of. So thank you all for
Thank you.
being here and doing all that you do.
And props to Sergeant Casey Cleveland for creating that video. I don't think he's in here, but thank you,
Right.
Casey.
Okay. Councilman Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With gratitude to the service of these outstanding canines, I do move approval of items 9E, F, and G.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. That brings us to purchases.
Good evening, council. Anik and Rex are far more interesting than what I have to say. We have 6 purchases recommended for approval this evening. The first is from Fleet. Fleet is requesting an increase of $14,566 for 2 lube kits added to 2 refuse trucks. The new total cost will be $980,566. The next one is also from Fleet. This is a year 3 renewal with an increase. Truck and Trailer is requesting a 6% increase due to the cost of materials and labor. The new estimated annual spend will be $255,000. Public Works has approved that increase. The third one is from Human Resources. This is a new blanket agreement for stop-loss insurance. This is a 1-year agreement with 4 one-year options to renew. Bids were received by 1 supplier. The invitation was re-advertised and no additional bids were received. The award will go to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee with an estimated annual spend of $600,000. The fourth one is from Fire. This is a one-time purchase of a Gladiator attack hose. The award will go to Safe Industries in the amount of $84,052, utilizing the Buy-Board Cooperative Agreement. The next one is from Wastewater. This is a one-time sole source purchase for pump and pump accessories. The award will go to Guthrie Sales in the amount of $244,940. And the last one is also Wastewater. This is a year 3 renewal with increase. Solution Works is requesting a 5% increase due to the cost of labor and material. The new estimated annual spend will be $350,000. Wastewater has approved the increase.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve these purchases with a proper second. Do you have any questions or comment? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
And I do have one sole source purchase to report. This is Technology Services Department, the purchase of, I'm sure I'm going to say this wrong, Giganu Solitaire 3 and Phoenix 1 smart lighting system for $33,400. Giganu is a Smart 2023 Grant Award participant, partnering with the City of Chattanooga to support a grant-funded project known as a National Scalable CV2X Pilot Deployment, advancing interoperable connectivity for improving safety and operations in the City of Chattanooga.
Thank you very much. All right, Council, we're going to go around the circle here for some committee reports. Councilman Elliott.
No.
Councilwoman Dotley.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Yes, we had our second budget education session today. We had a lot of questions, hopefully a lot of answers. We also had our public hearing today as well. Tentatively, we are still on track to have our first vote June 3rd and then second vote June 10th. But if there are any questions or anything additional from council, please feel free to send the email to myself or Nicole or Kevin, so we can try to get everything addressed. All right. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Burrs.
No report.
Thank you. Councilman Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know earlier today during strategic planning in your packets, you had legislation proposing some changes relative to urban chickens. And I know Councilman Smith never found a proper time or an opportunity to place that in legislative committee, but I'm requesting that this be placed or scheduled in legislative committee so that we can bring this forward to a vote.
Got it. Thank you. All right, Councilman Davis.
No report.
Councilman Harvey.
No report.
Councilman Clark.
No report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We also will be looking at a single stair ordinance in legislative committee soon, so I will work with Madam Vice Chair to get that on the calendar. Thank you all for all your work on the budget and with strategic planning. We now reach the point in our meeting where we are happy to recognize persons who wish to address the council. Go ahead and come to the podium. Mr. Attorney, will you please read the rules?
Yes, ma'am. At the end of each council business meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council, and here's your rules. Each speaker wishing to address the council can only be recognized at the microphone up front provided for that purpose. Can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not on matters which are not under their authority and are regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Do not engage in any vulgar or obscene language nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address the comments to the council as a whole and not towards individual council members. And lastly, do not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting, which is prohibited by Tennessee law, and someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, go ahead, Mr. Bell.
Well, thank you, Mr. Attorney, and good afternoon, Council. From WBEL News, I'm Bell reporting. Previously, you all had a tremendous crowd in here talking about art. Monty Bell is probably one of the greatest artists that come from the ghettos of the city of Chattanooga, and so many of you are trying to put me back there. It won't happen. It's in the news. The question is, and everyone's asking, if the city and county are separate, then how is it possible that the county represents the city in courtroom proceedings? If the event happens within the city, at the city council, doesn't involve the county attorney, the county commission, or anyone there. But as it is in our city, it all happens. Here's more.
Mr. Taylor, an audio recording, we have no way of knowing where the audio recording is coming from.
Comes from my office, sir. It comes from the office of the city attorney.
Mr. Chairman, if your question is the appropriateness of it, this is a point for public discussion, but presentations are generally scheduled through the commission office for the commission to approve coming before the body.
That's censorship.
You can't just open the floor up for anything that you don't know the consequences of what may be said. So Denise, I would not recommend you do.
Okay, so if you'd like to submit that to the commission office for, well, with 13 seconds, 12 seconds. It's about an open request of a young lady named Janie Parks Barnell.
Public open
It's been a whole year with the city attorney. And then the city attorney's
time has expired.
office
We're not
said
going to talk about any individuals, bring any individual names up. So, well, your time's expired.
We'll see you next week.
Not naming names or positions. Check this out.
This way, I'm turning right. They said I've got to have your date of birth, your address.
Who said it?
Let me finish. And I've got to have the address and date of birth of your chairman, Jeff Aversall.
Who's there?
And I've got to have the date of birth and address of Greg Beck.
So,
Who said it?
this is what I gotta have.
Who said it? I'm asking you, who told you that?
That's fine. Can I have that?
No, who told you that?
He won't let me have it.
Okay, I will not give you that personal information. No. Tell me who said it.
They also said that you, censored me on Wednesday when you denied me from playing the audio.
They are.
Thank you, Mr. Bell.
All right, have a good night.
This is called Uncle Tommy house niggering, and it happens in the city of Chattanooga, the county of Hamilton, 211 billion, 34 million for your
Thank you.
fly.
Hi, my name is Lee Helena. I currently reside at 1011 Oak Street, apartment B. I wanted to comment about a process that I've been through with rezoning. Last week, Mr. Elliott made a motion to approve my case, and he said it perfectly. I rechecked the YouTube video. He said a 20-foot minimum rear setback, a 10-foot side setback, a 28-foot building height maximum, and no other dwelling units. Perfectly. And yet, now it's being pushed off another 3 weeks, simply because the clerk wrote it down wrong. This is a project I've been trying to do since 2016. And it's just been impossible. I mean, I wanted to build a house for myself. It was a small lot. I got a variance on the front and rear, no problem. I went to submit my building permit not knowing that there was a sunset on that. So I submitted my building permit and was told, oh, I'm sorry, your variance expired 2 weeks ago. That was with Gary Robkin. I went back to Brandy Ridge. I said, hey, look, this is my situation. The variance expired. Shame on me. I'm not going to let that happen again. What do I need to do differently this time? He said absolutely nothing. Just go before the BOZA and get your front and rear setback approved again. You have a small lot and there's already a utility easement on it. It's a perfect case for approval. I did that. I submitted it. I got it. What I wasn't told was that before BOZA approved it, City Council decided, for whatever reason, to repeal the urban infill lot option, which now made my variance request worthless, because I would have also had to get a square footage variance and a side setback variance. So I went to the RPA at that time. I said, what can I do to build this house? And they said, well, the zoning code's going to be updated, so you just need to wait until that happens, and then you'll be taken care of. And so I came before council on July 16th of last year, and I said, there's problems with this draft. It's not going to work out. To date, those problems still have not been figured out. The side setback on a residential lot in a historic neighborhood now is 15 feet, when it used to be 5 feet. And me and other developers and architects, we keep being told they're going to fix it. It's going to get fixed. And it's not being fixed. Like I said, he said it perfectly well last week. I've been pushed off another 2-3 weeks for a second reading. This is impossible to build a single-family house with an ADU.
Thank you, Mr. Helena. Your time is up.
Good evening. My name is Joy Bullard Moore. I live in District 2 on Beltrace Circle, and I recently resigned from my role as Deputy Administrator of Community Development. I'm not here to rehash everything, but I do want a public record, something that says, I was here, I showed up, and I led with care. And I left on my own terms when that care stopped being returned. This was not a layoff, and it wasn't about performance. It was a pattern, being excluded, given increasing responsibility without any real authority, and gradually pushed to make myself smaller. I was expected to dim my light to make others more comfortable,
It was a leadership culture where control was mistaken for leadership and collaboration was often treated like a threat. Still, I believe in this city. I believe in its people and one Chattanooga. That's why I moved here. That's why I've stayed, and that's why I want to thank the colleagues and the community members, many of whom are in this room right now, who wrapped their arms around me during the hardest days. That kind of care is the heartbeat of this work, and it's what kept me going. To Mayor Kelly, Mandy, and Steve, thank you for trying to make space for that even when it wasn't easy. And to the dedicated staff at our community centers and the Office of Family Empowerment and our wonderful Community Advisory Committee members, you're the reason I stayed as long as I did. Your work is sacred. Before I close, I want to read a poem. It's something I can't stop thinking about. This is Small Kindnesses by Danusha Lamaris. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by, or how strangers still say, bless you, when someone sneezes. That's a leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die is what we're saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone else will help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back, for the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver in that red pickup truck to just let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire, only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy? These fleeting temples we make together when we say, here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council here tonight? Council, I see no one. Bob?
Very quickly, I know it's been a long night. My name is Paul Futchkar, and I'm with the Council for Alcohol and Drug Abuse Services. You all provide funding for us, and all I really wanted to say was thank you for your help in our life-saving work, and we just appreciate the partnership we have.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council this evening? All right, council, our podium is clear. What is your pleasure?
Second.
All right, we are adjourned.
So harsh.